Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying the Be the Difference podcast. If you are, I got a huge favor to ask. Go on to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review for us. It helps us immensely with algorithms and growth because we grow completely by word of mouth, organically. That's why there are no ads. Also, feel free to share this content with somebody you think might get value out of it. Last, if you don't know, I also do coaching to help people become the best version of themselves, starting with physical fitness, going all the way through mindset, sales, and leadership. If you're interested in learning more, there's going to be a link in the description of the podcast. You can schedule a time. It's a free assessment. All I'm going to do is have a conversation with you and see if I can even help you. I look forward to speaking to all of you. Continue to enjoy the podcast, and remember to always be the difference. What's up, everybody? It's Greg with Delta, and this is the Be the Difference podcast. This podcast is all about making you a better person in your life and in your business with coaching on sales, leadership, mindset, marketing, everything under the sun when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And we bring on guest speakers. Today, I got the honor and pleasure of welcoming Mr. Sammy Joe Farrens. Sammy Joe, what's going on,
what's
bro?
Up, big guy? Oh, living a life. So grateful to be here.
Yeah, man. So this is a long time coming. We've been talking about getting each other's podcast for a while now because we're both, Sammy's a fellow Arete brother. And we met through Arete. And so when I first started the podcast back up, we talked and he was like, yeah, he was like, you jump on mine, we'll jump on yours, we'll connect. And then there was scheduling conflicts. We pushed it back. Then we got to meet at Arete Live back in Nashville back in last November. And we got to kind of learn from each other. And it was a great time. So yeah, man, I'm excited to have this conversation.
No, me too. Me definitely, man. Meeting you was truly awesome. I mean, you talk to people, you see them online and different things like that, and you always have an expectation of somebody. You know, whether we want to or not. That's just the way our brains work. And no, man, it was truly a blessing to meet you in real life and get a selfie. Now, just so everybody knows, Greg really is as big and as awesome as he looks, because I'm 5'6", and you know, we'll just leave it at that.
Whenever people see me in person, they're like, damn, you really are that big. I'm like, yeah. I always tell people, like, dude, I'm a massive dude. Like, it's gonna be a surprise you when you see me. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no, seriously. They see me every single time, like, geez, you're like a friggin' tree walking in here, bro.
Yeah. You're definitely somebody I want on my side of the fight.
I'm always there for you, bro. I'm always there. So for those of you that don't know who Sammy is, like I said, a fellow Arete brother. You used to be in construction, right? You used to do construction work?
Still am a little bit, not very much, but I've owned my own painting company for 12 years.
Yeah, so he's a fellow entrepreneur. He is an author. He's coming out with his new book, Broken Gratitude. By the time that this airs, it'll probably be out. When is that book coming out?
Brother, this is my first book, so I'm still getting used to the process of my book. It has been in editing for about 3.5 months, and I have been told by my publisher it should be done in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, so this airs in August.
Oh yeah.
By the time this airs, the book should be out. You can check out Broken Gratitude by Sammy Farrens. He's also a speaker, a mindset coach, an NLP and John Maxwell certified speaker and coach. So this guy has got so much experience in terms of entrepreneurial, but everything that I've seen about him really centers around gratitude.
Yeah,
and the power of gratitude.
Greg, I'm going to tell you, I just experienced it again this morning with somebody else, and it's truly amazing, just the life that it allows you to live. And the story is, this morning, my neighbor came over. His car wouldn't start, thought the battery was dead, so he come, hey, can you give me a jump? And of course, I said, yeah. And I go outside. Now, it's 6 a.m. in the morning. The sun's just coming up. All this gentleman wanted to talk about was how beautiful the day was already. He's pointing at the sunrise, and he's saying how beautiful of a spring day, and can you feel this weather? Oh man, and he's talking about being blessed, and And at the same time, we're jumping his car, which is making him late to work, which in how many people's minds go, well, my whole day is ruined.
Yeah.
Well, no, not this guy, man. Man, I'm so grateful that, this sunrise today, and it's so beautiful. And it empowers people around you with him, just his emotions and his energy. Dude, I've been amped up all day.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
It really is. And you always have the choice, right? It's so easy to talk about, like, oh, you have the choice to be positive. I think one is gratitude is as a practice. This is something that you have to be intentional about, right? I'm actually reading. I don't have you started reading, or have you read The Greatness Mindset by Lewis House?
I have not. I
It's
have
good.
not.
It's good.
I will have to get that.
It's really good. So I'm about halfway through it right now.
Uh,
And one of the things that he talks about in the book is he spends about just a few minutes in the morning and a few minutes in the evening doing gratitude, but gratitude towards himself. Like things he's grateful about himself, to empower him,
mhm.
right? And to get him into a right mindset. And he's like, it's a very powerful tool to lean on your strengths and
Oh,
give you confidence in those times when you need them, right? But another tactic is just writing out gratitudes. Like a simple practice is writing out the things that you're grateful for every single day, and just doing like three, right? Three things you're grateful for every day. Now, you could do it in the evening, or you can do it in the morning. Like I like to do mine in the morning, and I do it for the previous day. Right? I think about the whole previous day, think about it, and I write out 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. Now, what this does over time is it forces my mind to look for things, the positivity in things, to find things to write about that I'm grateful for, because I can't do the same. The practice loses its meaning if I'm always doing the same 3 to 5 things. Like it's just
yeah.
kind of like you can only be so grateful for your kids, your wife, your car. As you know, like so before, it's just like kind of like, okay, I got it, and it loses its meaning. So always doing new things and always trying to find those things, it literally changes the lens in which you view the world, and you start to see things more positively, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
you start to find the positivity in life and things that you can be grateful for. Sometimes the smallest things, like, hey, man, it was so nice to have a moment outside. I'm glad that my car broke down because I got to spend a few extra moments enjoying the sunrise with one of my neighbors that I haven't connected with in a while. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
Greg, I tell you, it's the Broken Gratitude, the book is literally based on how to put yourself first in gratitude.
Mhm.
And, you know, the, I asked over 200 people before I wrote the book. I actually went around, I asked a simple question: what are you grateful for? And there's no wrong answer. It's not like, oh, it's a pass or fail, or, you know, less than 1% of people said themselves.
Yeah.
And for me, gratitude is us. Like, I'm the gift of gratitude. You are the gift of gratitude. You change the world every day, meaning to or not meaning to, you change it.
Yeah.
When I asked that question to over 200 people, what I heard was what you just said: my family, my kids, my job, my coworkers. Which, again, nothing wrong with that. None of that's here without you.
Yeah.
Like, none of it.
No, you're
You
absolutely
know,
right.
your wife or husbands are in total different relationships. Your kids definitely ain't here. Your grandkids aren't here. Your mom and dad's relationship, is that the same, or did they go off and do something else? Who are your direct friends? Who are they friends with now if you're not around? Like, did they go down a different path? So to learn that you are gratitude, and accept that, and understand that it's not a selfish thing to put yourself first, because we can only give what we have.
Yeah.
Like, I can only give Greg so much love if I only have so much love. I can only give him so much happiness and positivity if that's all that I have. So why not fill myself up first? And I mean, fill it to the brim till it's overflowing, just like that gentleman this morning. Even in the worst of moment for him, this morning, He was so
It was
grateful.
infectious. He was overflowing.
Overflowing. And what did it do? It filled me up.
Yeah.
That's the gift of gratitude. That's an amazing life. Bad stuff's going to happen. Your car's not going to start. Your relationships are going to end. I mean, things are going to happen. There's nothing.
But they happen for a reason. You can find there's a teaching in that, and you can find the teaching, right?
Yeah, always,
Um,
always.
and even in that moment, like you could even be like, hey, you could say, hey, I'm grateful that guy gave me, a boost of positivity and gratitude for us today. Or you could say, I'm grateful that I took the time to go jump his car, which had this lasting effect.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it sounds, I'm definitely going to have to get the Lewis Howes book. It sounds like we're on the same
Right on the
level.
same page, bro.
And
He talks
I
about
do.
loving yourself too. He talks about loving yourself and how that process is important. Like he actually does a process where he took pictures of himself as a child. He took old pictures of himself and he put it as a screensaver on his phone.
Oh.
And he would look at it and he would have conversations. Like if he was in a down moment, he would have a conversation with himself as a kid.
That's pretty cool.
And he would like be like, hey man, if he felt like he failed, he'd be like, hey man, I failed. Like I failed, I did you wrong. I'm gonna do better, blah, blah, blah. Like, or he would just look at it and be like, hey, what would this version of myself when I was young? What did I want me to be?
Yeah.
And how did I want me to act? And he like really tapped into like himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, that's a powerful practice.
Oh, it's so empowering once you accept yourself for more than what you ever thought. I mean, it's the gratitude thing and there's so many people that I talk to, and I'm sure you do, that it's like they get a certain, like you said, 3 to 5, you'll write down 3 to 5. And, for somebody that's not understanding exactly what more can I be grateful for than my wife, my kids, my grandkids, my job? Like, what else is there, Sammy? So I have a great practice for everybody and you only got to do it once, and it'll pretty much open your eyes up. Sit down that night, right before you go to bed. Make sure you got a notebook, because one piece of paper probably won't do it. And I want you to write down everything that you're grateful for, everything. But understand that only the things that you write down are you allowed to have the next day. Do you think you'd write down, man, I'm so grateful I can walk. I'm so grateful I can see. I can talk. I'm so grateful that I got food. I'm so grateful that I have a roof over my head. I'm so grateful that I have clothes on my body. I mean, you want to go deep.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to open actually. Up. Oh man. I did it one time.
I don't put it on here. I don't get it. Tomorrow it's gone. Take it from me.
That's it. I mean, literally, if you do not write it down, you don't get it the next day. How deep do you think you'd really go? I mean, that's, for me, I was taught this lesson. Unfortunately, and it's in the book. The whole story's in the book. But I was taught this lesson when my mother passed away, and I was holding her hand. Now, understand, in her life, she had polio, so she never did walk. She was restricted to a wheelchair her whole life. But she was so grateful, like that. She was happy. Now, did she have down moments? Oh, I'm sure. Did she have, negative feelings and all? Yeah, I'm sure she did. But she always found the positives in life. And I learned that lesson holding her hand when she passed away, because in that moment, mom could walk. Mom could run. She could ride a bike. She could do everything that unfortunately she couldn't do here.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, that is so powerful to understand that we have so much more than what we give ourselves credit for. And if you allow yourself to have that credit, you will watch your business, your life, your relationships, your spirituality, everything will just explode and become, again, so much more than what you even know it can be. Mm-hmm. And I've seen it in my life, and I've seen it in other people's lives that really open themselves up and just say, hey man, it's okay for me to be grateful for me and love me first. And It's an amazing thing. It's
You're
life
absolutely right.
changing.
You're absolutely right. It really is life changing. When you take the time to tap into your own strength, your own greatness, your own power. Right? It's a very um, eye-opening experience. It's very powerful, but you realize just how like abundant your life can be, and how it really is. Like when you look at everything and you acknowledge everything that you've been given and that you have in your life, you start seeing things from a different perspective, and it literally changes the vibrations and like how you operate in the world, and
Yeah.
and what comes to you after that.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's when I accepted, we'll say in business, it's one of those for me. I was so grateful when I would make a sale. Like I own a painting company, and to close a deal, all right, cool. But then that gratitude would leave me until I needed to make the next sale.
Mhm.
So as long as I knew, and this was a growing pain for me, and I'm sure it is for a lot of small businesses, especially, we struggle sale to sale, you know, transaction to transaction.
Yeah.
And it's until you really are so grateful for the process of getting to the next one, you know, do you not really open your eyes up to even the ones you don't get, even the people that I go talk to and they say, Sammy, we can't do it right now, whatever that might be, whatever normal excuse you get, then to just look at yourself and go, hey, what did I learn out of that? What good thing did come from that? Oh, I did this right. I did that right. Ooh, yeah, okay. And really delve into it, you'll start seeing that I was kind of negative whenever that guy said this or this happened. And oh, I really didn't have the right answer for that. And you just kind of draw back on yourself and go, all right, cool. I'm so grateful that I really noticed that. So now I can not do that at the next appointment or whatever.
Yeah.
So even gratitude in business, I mean, it's huge too. I seen a study, I think it was 2 years ago. Less than 5% of people in a year are told thank you by their supervisors or bosses. That
Wow.
just a simple thank you.
Wow.
I
That's crazy.
mean, and we wonder why our workforce doesn't want to work.
Yeah.
They don't feel appreciated.
That's a crazy stat.
Yeah. And I think it was like 2 years ago, I seen that, and I'm sure it still stands true. I even went around and because I do a lot of networking, and I asked fellow just networkers, hey, do you tell your people, thank you very often and this and that? And even putting them on the spot, it amazed me how many people said no. No, why should I have to do that? There's so many bosses, supervisors, owners that say, look, my thank you is them getting a paycheck. Like that's the thanks. No, that's not enough. We are physical and mental human beings. We need to be told, hey, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You
And that's
know,
also a good leadership, uh, strategy. Honestly,
oh,
if someone's just like, oh, well, their thanks is that they get a paycheck, I can tell that that person's got some serious leadership issues, and they need to be working on
yeah. Oh,
for
big
like,
time.
without a doubt.
Yeah. No.
So
So, but yeah, that's gratitude. I mean, I could go on for days about that.
I love
You know,
that, man. That's fantastic, and I assume so. Your book is like a book of like your story and lessons you learned that through this process, the power of gratitude.
the book's really it's only 6 chapters. It's a short read. I tried to keep it a short read. Uh, it really what it is. It's 5 strategies to live a life of gratitude. Each there's 6 chapters. The first chapter is about my mom and how I came to gratitude, but then the other 5 are really just strategy based, and
Okay.
it's stories slash circumstances slash here's how we solve that. A huge thing that is so hard for us to do is we got to learn to love people from a distance.
Yeah.
you know, and unfortunately, those are going to be some of our direct family and friendships that we've had forever. But, you know, if you really look at them, are these people there helping you live your best life, or is it about them living their best life and you're just stuck in the middle of it, you know? Or do they make choices that you really don't want to be around, but well, that's my mom, my dad, my best friend, and you know, so I just kind of put up with it.
Yeah.
You know, I one example for me is I had a really good friend. I mean, we've been friends since we were probably 4 years old, and he likes to smoke pot, and he's not a hard like drug addict, but he likes to smoke pot almost every day, and it's just something I don't partake in. I just personally don't do it.
Yeah.
But every time I was around him, that's what he wanted to do, you know. And I love this guy to death. He could call me right now and say he needed something. I'd go help him out. But I can't be around him directly very often anymore
Yeah.
because I'm on a different path than him, you know, and my path doesn't include me doing things or being around things that I'm not comfortable with, that I just don't want to be around, you know. So I have to love him from a distance, you know.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with pot. Honestly, here's the thing. I don't smoke pot really. It's not that I haven't, I have, but it's not my thing. And whenever I'm around people that smoke all the time, that smell, I'm just like, I'm automatically like I don't want to hang out with this person. I love you for this. Like I love you from afar. Like I got some family members that like smoke it religiously. Like it's just
Yeah.
like and every time I go to visit or anything, I go to hug them. I'm just like, it's literally hugging a marijuana plant, like on fire. I was like, bro, did you just start?
Yeah.
Did you just like toke up or what, bro? It's just not my
No.
thing, you know. And like, there's nothing wrong with it, right? You know, I think it should be
Right.
legal. To be honest, I think it's healthier than alcohol, but it's just not my thing. It takes away my focus. It's hard to be able to do things and like operate. You know, I've done it a handful of times, and I'm just like, I don't see the addiction, like the compulsion to want to do it that often. But that's
Yeah.
just me, and to each their own, right? But I understand exactly what you mean. Is what I'm saying. Like I
Yeah.
have family members that are like that I'm just like, yeah, like just that smell. Then you like it's like okay, bro, like
mine
I'm not,
mine with him, it's he wants to get high, and again, yeah, I don't have nothing wrong with it. I don't anybody, hey, you do you, that's cool. Uh, but then he always wants to talk about money. And it's like, all right, dude, I don't want to get high, and I definitely don't want to talk about money. So
yeah,
let's just, you know. So again, I love him from a distance. I got really close family members that, again, man, I love them with all I got from a distance because I know I'm on a different path than they are.
yeah,
You know, and it's not that I think I'm better than them or nothing like that. It's just a different path, you know. And I'm more than willing to, if they want to come on the path and hey, let's go up here and do these great things and all great, hop on board. But I'm not going to go on a different path that I'm not looking at,
yeah,
you know. Another chapter in the book is just talking about self-talk. How do we talk to ourselves? You know, I eliminate the word can't. That's the first thing I tell people. Eliminate the word can't. I'm 5'6", 48 years old, 200 pounds, kind of chubby, and I can slam a basketball. I'm gonna need Greg's help because he's tall and strong and he can help me get up there, but I can do it. And that's it. There's nothing we can't do,
yeah.
you know. And it's once you frame your mind like that, there's the gratitude.
Yeah.
Like gratitude, knowing that I can do anything. Anything is achievable.
Do you know? Have you ever heard of? Have you ever heard of Sean Acor,
Hmm.
the positive psychologist?
Yes. Yeah.
So good, so good. He does a he. I mean, he has a book. He has a bunch of books. One of them that I read is called The Happiness Advantage, And basically, if you haven't read it, you should. For the audience listening, he talks about the power of positivity, and a lot of his gratitude, but he talks about the power of positivity and how a positive mind actually operates 33% more efficiently than a mind that's at negative, neutral, or stressed. And so, as a salesperson, you get more sales. You're better. You're quicker in your reactions and like how you speak to people, overcoming objections or rebuttals, being able to properly converse and communicate certain things across to clients. When you're a doctor, you come up with diagnoses faster and more efficiently, and you're quicker on the fly when you're in surgery. Um, when you're a lawyer or an accountant, you can catch things quicker. You're more efficient with your work, and he goes over all these different advantages depending upon what industry you're in. And he lays out that there's five things. It's all about wellness, right? And focusing on the positivity. So he says there's five things that every person can do. And if you do it for 30 days, it'll radically change your life. You'll start to see the world differently. And you'll be a happier, healthier person. And it'll just actually expound from there as long as you keep doing it. But those five things are real simple. One is the gratitude, and that's where I got it from. Is doing the three gratefuls every day. Is writing down three new gratefuls every day. Doesn't matter what it is; it's just something new. Three new gratefuls every day, and it changes the way you view the world. Because eventually you're going to run out of things. Like because when you first start, if you've never done this, when you first start, you're going to be like, okay, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? Well, I'm grateful for my wife, grateful for my car, grateful for my kids. Next day, you're like, well, I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for my job. Next day, you can be like, well, I'm grateful for my TV. I get to watch NFL on. I'm grateful for my favorite team. I'm grateful it's Sunday, football Sunday, right? Then day after day after day, you're going to start running out of things. And then you're going to really have to think. It'll take you about a week, right? And then you really got to think like, man, what am I grateful for? I'm like, nope, I use that. Nope, I use that. Nope. And you're going to be like, okay, well, what's something new? And that's when the switch starts to happen. That's when you start to review your past 24, 48 hours. You start to look for things. And then as your days go forward, the next phase is that you just start to see things in a positive light. So that's the first thing. Next thing is journaling every single day.
Oh yeah.
Just writing a journal a little bit. That's also a powerful thing to do anyways, especially I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur or not. I don't care if you're in a 9 to 5. The power of communication, being able to write and communicate and being able to speak and communicate are two very powerful things. And they're going to help you no matter where you're at to become more successful. If you can write or if you can articulate and write and communicate in an effective way that you can influence people to do what you're trying to get them to do, right? And like influence ideas, strategies, etc., then that comes from communication, comes from written communication, right? So just journaling, you'll get used to. The more you do something, it's like riding a bike, you'll get better at it. So just journaling every day.
Journaling is something that I recommend for anybody dealing with anxiety and stress.
Yes.
It is huge to be able to write it down, write down the positives of the day, write down even the negatives, but just write it down. If anything, it's one thing to be able to physically write it, which helps you release it, and then see it and really evaluate it and go, is it really as bad as I thought it was?
Yeah. There's something I do with my clients when I'm coaching. There's something I do with my clients to practice. It's a great exercise. And it's okay, then what? So it's like if you're anxious or anxiety or you have depression about something, and you basically write out like what is it? Okay, this is the problem. Okay, what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst? Let's write that out. So let's assess that. Okay, then what? If that happens, then what?
Yeah.
Then I'll be embarrassed. Okay, and then what?
And
Then
then what?
I won't want to see anybody. Then what? Then I'm gonna go home and think about it. Then what? Then I'm gonna get over it. Then what?
And really all you're doing is
then I'm probably gonna laugh about it later on.
Yeah. Really all you're doing is reframing.
So let's just go to the last step and just go forward. And when you write it out, though, when you actually write it out, it takes the power out of your mind because your mind will just keep on that loop. It'll keep circling around that issue without without calculating all the steps outwards. And when you look at it on paper and you're like, this is kind of silly, it takes away the power.
Yeah.
So journaling, you're so right. Journaling, that like, especially with anxiety, it's really powerful. Really, really powerful.
It's huge. And the gratitude part of it, as far as like you were saying earlier, write down 3 things and eventually you'll feel like you kind of run out of stuff. You'll know that you have really figured out what gratitude is and the meaning behind it when I'm sitting at my desk right now, and here I'm drinking a sparkling ice water. That's what I'm drinking right now. I love these things. But anyway, I am so grateful for this water. I am so grateful for whoever thought up how to, distribute this water. Who thought up? I'm so grateful for the person that said, hey, let's put this and this together, and this is the flavor we get. I'm so grateful for whoever figured out how to make this cap spin off and on. Like, who thought of that? Somebody did, and that's awesome, man. They're amazing. I'm so grateful for the truck driver that got this to the store. I'm so grateful for,
yeah.
And I can go as deep. That's gratitude. When you can go deep, I could grab anything on this desk and show you just how much gratitude there is in it. That's when you're like, holy crap, man, I really do live in an amazing freaking world.
Yeah. When you start to see all those little tiny details, and the devil's in the details, right? It's like those small little things, right? And they matter. So the next thing is exercising every single day, right? Doing some kind of, and it doesn't mean that you don't have to go to the gym, you don't have to go running, but even 30 minutes of like going outside and walking and getting a brisk walk in, getting your heart rate up, getting some vitamin D, doing that every single day, because your body was meant to move. It's not meant to be sedentary, right? Next, which I'm a huge proponent of. Like, I hate when people like when they hear that I work out twice a day every day, and they're like, your body, you can't do that. I'm like, I literally do it every day.
Every day. Don't tell me you can't.
Your body needs rest. I'm like, I rest just fine. Just believe me. Like,
actually, you probably rest better.
Oh, dude. When I crash, when I get tired, when I'm at night, when I'm done, I'm out.
Oh yeah.
And then next is so journaling, gratefuls, exercise, meditation. And meditation is a practice. It's just like anything else. It's like riding a bike. When I first started meditating, my mind was racing. I couldn't clear it. Just all those thoughts everywhere. And I was just like, this sucks. I can't do it. Yeah. This is dumb. I just can't quiet. You know how many people I've told it, hey, you should start meditating. They're like, you know what? I'm not that kind of person. I can't quiet my mind. And you know what I do? I say, well, let's try it. I bet you I can quiet your mind. No, you can't. Okay, watch this. Super simple practice. It works every time. 100% of the time works. It works all the time. And so I'll say, okay, so what do you think about right now? And they're like, okay, I'm thinking about what I got to do this evening. What I got to do for work. Okay. All right. So now I want you to close your mind, close your eyes. In that voice that's talking in your head, that's like on loop, that's talking about all the things you got to do. I want you to place yourself in your mind like you're watching that voice, like it's a separate entity, like it's somebody else, right? And just watch it. And then they're like, okay, so they do it. And then I want you to ask yourself, I wonder what my next thought will be. I wonder what the next thing that's going to come out. And imagine you're in a room and you're like looking at the walls, like there's a little mouse hole, right? And you're waiting for a mouse to come out, but that's a thought. That's the next thought that's going to come out. You're like, I wonder what the next thought's going to be. And I just want you to sit there and stare at that wall in your mind and wait. You know what happens? Nothing. They're just like, no thought. I'm like, yeah, you quieted your mind, huh? So you thought you couldn't do it, huh?
I love it. That
works every time.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you, I will start using that because my meditation usually is me praying. I do a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
And I get quiet doing that, but I'm still talking. It's just, a different voice. I like that though. I'm going to actually, I will.
I'm telling you, bro, it works. It works. That's what helped me start to quiet my mind. And then you get used to another thing you can do is you can do the Wim Hof. I do the Wim Hof breathing technique before I meditate. So all I do is just when I do that 30 times, right? And I do this real deep and then push it out, real deep, push it out, real deep, push it out 30 times, right? And at the 30th time when I push out, I don't breathe and I sit there. And I just sit there and I don't do anything. I don't breathe in. I just sit there. Dude, you can sit there for like 2 minutes. You can sit there without breathing, with no air in your lungs, because you've oversaturated your body with so much oxygen from breathing in really, really deep. You've oversaturated. You almost get a head high from having that much oxygen. You get high off of your own oxygen supply. And then when you, on that last one, you breathe in, you don't even feel the need to breathe. Like you feel like you're completely calm, but your body, your emergency system within you is actually firing. And it's actually this is a super healthy thing to do for you anyways, because it sends off all these signals within your body to get your body working. It's like it's almost like doing a cold plunge. What happens in a cold plunge is that your body starts firing on all cylinders to basically save your life. He's like, you're gonna fucking go, you're gonna freeze to death, right? So your body's freaking out and setting on. That's part of the process that works for cold plunges. This is the same thing. It's teaching your body. It's basically throwing an overdrive because it thinks you're gonna die, but you're not, because you have so much oxygen. But that actually activates your body, makes it, dude. I'm telling you, it's a powerful practice, and it makes your meditations just transcendent. It makes your you're so much more calm and focused, and you can literally like see things in your mind. It's fantastic.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
So do it. That's another practice you can do to get used to meditating. But the more you do it, it's like riding a bike. The first time you go to ride a bike, you're not going to be like just doing wheelies, bro. Like if you've never, I can tell you all day long. I can be like, oh, this is how you do it. You could read books on riding a bike. If you've never gotten a bike, you're probably going to fall the first time. It's going to happen, right? You're going to make a mistake. The more you do it, though, the better you get. So the more you do meditation, the better you'll get at calming your mind. And I like to do a timer in my head. It's part of the Silva method. So like I close my eyes, I take a deep breath, and then I say the word 3 in my head, and I visualize the letter 3, like 3, 3, 3. And at that, then I imagine my body from head to toe relaxing. And I imagine it actually relaxing. And I actually feel tingles now. I feel tingles going down my body. Then I do 2, 2, 2, and I imagine mental relaxation. I put myself into a mentally relaxed place. And the place I go to is the beach in Hawaii. I just recently visited my brother in Hawaii back in February, and we went to the beach together. And it was so serene. It was just perfect day, calm. No, not many people there, like just us, just hanging out as bros. And it was just the most calm and great, peaceful day I've ever had with my older brother in a long time. And so I imagine sitting there on the beach, looking over, and he's there. He fist bumps me, and I lay back, and I'm just listening to the waves, and I'm looking out, and I put myself in that position, and I mentally relax. And then I do 1, 1, 1, and I imagine falling, like I'm falling, free falling into. And I'm just surrendering to this process, to my alpha level. When I count to 10, I count from 10 to 1, count down. And I imagine I actually imagine like as I'm free falling, I see the numbers like flying by my head, like 10, 9, 8, 7. And I feel myself. And then when I hit 1, I hit like water, and I'm just literally like in water, just levitating in this water, completely calm and serene. And then I'm like, boom, that's when I'm in. And then I'm just attuned, and my mind is completely in control, completely calm. I'm telling you, it's transformational. So
no, that's, again, anybody dealing with anxiety or stress or something like that, what Greg's saying right there, please go back and listen to that, write it down, start putting it into practice. It will totally change your life. The journaling, just like he's saying. Now, none of this, and I'm going to just reiterate what you just said. You're not going to be good at this the first time.
No, you're not.
You're going to suck, and it's not going to be comfortable, and you're not going to do it right. And it's just, oh no, this ain't for me. No, it is.
It is for you.
You just got to keep doing it. The journaling, the meditation, I would recommend doing cold plunges.
I do actually. I want to get a cold plunge. Really, you can build one for like $500. There's YouTube videos where you get a freezer.
Yeah.
You just have to get a filtration system, and then you have to get there's a little thing you get from Amazon that you put it in the water, and then you set a temperature, and it turns the water that temperature. It's over a long period of time, like over like 24 hours. But then you just close the freezer, and then you open it, and it's the exact temperature that you need. It'll stay that temperature. You jump in, you stay in for 5-10 minutes, you jump out, you close it, and then you set the temperature. And it's like $500, and you can make your own homemade cold plunge.
This is stuff I pray that people really are, that if you're dealing with stuff, depression, like, man, the whole world talks about mental health right now.
Yeah. Anxiety is the number one mental health condition across all Americans. It's like 45% of Americans statistically suffer and are treated with anxiety.
Yeah. I believe it. And that's
disgusting.
It is. I'm speaking at a couple of mental health conferences here coming up, and they're both actually to deal with veterans. They're veteran organizations and stuff. And, as we're leading up to them, me and these other speakers and the organizers and stuff are getting together talking about exactly, hey, what's the premise? What's the message we really want to get out there? And it's, trying to lower the number of suicides, and this is something not just for veterans, but, Greg, I know you're a veteran. I am. This is huge in our world, but it's also just huge in the world. I mean, there's 66 unfortunate suicides a day. And it's these things that Greg is talking about right now. I hope you go back and listen to them. Start implementing these things and understand that these will literally help you get out of depression more than drugs, and I hate to say it, the Army, the VA has done some good things, but we all know
I'm going to be hard on the VA, bro. There's so much that they're not doing, and
I agree. I was trying to be nice, but I agree.
It's disgusting, bro. Like the healthcare, it's socialist healthcare. It's terrible, and it is just designed. It's designed to just give you the shittiest medication and like funnel you through like cattle.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I look at it just like this. Implement these things that Greg's talking about. Start journaling. Start getting stuff out of your head, and do the exercising. The exercising's huge.
Yeah.
To keep your body busy and physically. When you physically feel better, guess what? You mentally feel better. When
just you're journaling, every time you exercise, your body releases endorphins and dopamine.
Yeah.
Like that's your body. That literally, like, instead of getting dopamine from drugs, instead of getting dopamine from screen sucking and going through your Instagram and be like, oh, I got to get a like or whatever, you can go make your own natural body's dopamine just by exercising. That'll make you feel good.
Yeah.
And it's healthy. Like, why not?
And it didn't, like you just said, it didn't take a drug.
It's all natural.
What I'm speaking on at these conferences is I feel like a big thing with the veteran community is from the minute we get into the service till the minute we leave, everything's a mission. It's all mission based.
Yeah.
We get out and there's no mission no more. Now we live in a society that's all goals. Go get a goal and, try to attain. And to me, there's a huge difference between a mission and a goal. A goal is something that I hope I get. I wish I get. If I don't get it, it was a goal. I'm a civilian. It's not as big a deal. When you are in the military and you have a mission, you complete the mission. Yeah. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
Mission first, people always.
That's it. Boom. Boom. And that's it. We need to start giving you want to help veterans and soldiers in the suicide pandemic per se that's going on. Give them missions. what mission can we give these people once they leave the service?
Yeah.
A mission that provides for their family, provides for their own health, mental and physical. I get so passionate about this because, Greg, I'm gonna tell you, I sat in a room with leadership from the VA, from these big organizations that have been around years and years and years. And it was like sitting in a room with 10-year-olds that didn't have a clue what they were even talking about. And I'm like, you are the
I'm not
people.
surprised. I am not, that doesn't surprise me in the least. In fact, I expect it.
Dude, I was disgusted.
Yeah.
Like a guy's in there talking about he's been in a self-help group for veterans for 14 years. And I'm like, 14 years? Good Lord, when does the help? You shouldn't need 14 years.
Yeah.
You shouldn't need to be on drugs the rest of your life.
Give me 6 months. I'll change your life, bro.
That's it.
Give me 6 months. You will be a different human being.
Yes. That's man. And I'm telling you, but no, we keep them in these drug-induced, per se comas. And, well, you got to always attend the meeting on Thursday, and you always got to come to. Why? If you are not helping me within, like Greg said, a few months, well, then you wasn't there to help me in the first place.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't take years and years and years, to develop a mission in a life that's worth living, no matter the cause. I hope I'm saying that right.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It's just, man, it was so frustrating in there. So I'm so happy that I get to go speak. And
that's awesome that you do that, man. I think that's very admirable. That's something I want to get more. I'm starting my speaking, and I've been kind of like dabbling here and there, and I've been at a couple events, but I really want to do more speaking. And to be honest, I just need to like get with some organizations and be like, hey, I'd like to come speak and just do it and get my name out there. I just don't know which organizations to start with. I guess I could start with VA. I don't know what events they do to speak at, but
what you'll find out is, literally, you could go speak at your chamber of commerce. Mm-hmm. You do start anywhere, and that might sound, mediocre or whatever, but literally start anywhere and here's why: you never know who's sitting in the crowd.
Yeah,
I spoke at a networking event. I was one of the, I did a little 10-minute spiel, and I ended up talking about mindset and this and that. Next thing I know, a lady comes up to me that was at the event. I didn't know her, never met her, nothing. And she's like, hey, you need to come speak at our John Maxwell event. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I know John Maxwell. I've read a bunch of his books, and, next thing I know, I'm standing on a John Maxwell stage. From there, a gentleman comes up in a wheelchair who's a retired veteran, and he's got an organization, South Missouri here. He's like, hey, man, I would love, we have a little weekend thing. Can you come down and speak to these vets? And so, again, just go out there and start speaking.
What event was that at? You said you spoke at?
It was John Maxwell.
No, the one where the lady saw you and said, hey, you should come speak at our John Maxwell event.
Oh, it was a local just networking event.
Really?
Like, networking. Yeah.
Yeah. We have local Toastmasters that I get invites to because I signed up for their newsletter. I should just go to Toastmasters. Yeah. But I feel like that, I don't know if that's the right one because everyone's going up there to learn how to speak. So I don't know if me speaking there, if people will be like, hey, I think you should speak at this. maybe. I don't know. I should just do it.
The number, and I've heard this so many times. Again, I'm new in the speaking world myself. I'm very excited, very blessed to be able to do it. The number one thing I keep hearing is, who will refer you more than anybody else in speaking? Other speakers. And so get yourself around other speakers.
That's true, man. I guess you just convinced me. I'm doing a Toastmasters event this week.
Yeah. And what's neat, where are you located? I forget.
Dallas, Texas. Outside Dallas, Texas.
Oh, okay. Okay. I know here in the, outside of St. Louis, we've probably got 40 different Toastmaster groups.
Yeah.
So I would say go visit a few, and find your tribe.
Yeah.
Find your tribe. And yeah, Toastmasters is a good place just to get into a local networking thing. I mean, I'm in a group called Number 9 here, and it's got like 150 members. They meet 4 or 5 times a week, and usually there's 40 or 50 people there.
Yeah.
And again, it's just one of those, man, you can get up, learn how to do your 60-second pitch or your elevator pitch or whatever. So that there's practice, just getting up in front of people. And then it's besides that, then you get those little 10-minute slots where you get to speak your message. And again, boy, you never know, like your message is going to hit somebody, and that somebody might know somebody that next thing you know, you're standing up there on a John Maxwell stage, Ed Milet actually spoke at that event that I spoke at.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You have to share the same stage. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, I was here in Missouri, and they were in Georgia, but everybody was watching us.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I like that. So we're coming up on a close. The last thing I said, there was 5 things, right? We talked about 4.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No. This is great. This is great. Don't apologize at all. This has been fantastic. The last thing, and I think this is the most important one, is reach out to one person. Reach out to one person each day and do something nice for them. It could be sending them a message, telling them how you appreciate them, sending them an email. It could be sending them a gift to recognize them for something, but do something that makes them feel good, because you will find true joy when you provide joy to others.
Yep. Oh, man.
And it's those 5 things. You do those 5 things every single day, you'll be more conscious. You'll be more aware of your actions. You'll be more positive in the world. You'll be spreading positivity at the same time. And I promise you, people are going to start reaching out to you, like, dude, you're different. Like, what's going on? And you'll be like, oh, dude, I'm just loving life, just having a good time, and you'll be able to help inspire, change the world, change other people, help them. And in the process, you'll find you'll change yourself, and you'll get rid of a lot of these demons. Instead of trying to drown your sorrows and ignore your pain and your problems and screen suck, binge eat, overconsume alcohol, do drugs, chase women, which is what I used to do. That was how I got over. I was like, ignore my problems. I would go chasing women, right? And it doesn't serve you, because those pain. There's one thing. My mom's a psychologist. One thing she told me that always stuck with me. I had a really bad breakup, right? And I was real tore up about it. Like I was down, and I called my mom just crying about it, just being a big old bitch. And my mom's listening to me, and she's like, baby, it's okay, And I'm like, I'm a grown ass adult. I was in my 30s when this happened, right? Like I'm a grown man.
All right. Nothing wrong with that.
And so I'm just like, and I can't let it go. And I'm like, I know she's off doing this, and she's doing this, and blah blah. And my mom's like, son, like this all has to do with emotional trauma. And she was like, there is nothing in the world that you can do. You cannot avoid it. You cannot go under it. Can't go above it, can't go around it. You have to go through it. If you do not go through it, it's just going to sit there. And you can wait. You can wait till later. You can push it off and do other things and ignore it. It'll still be there.
Yep.
You'll have to go through it. And man, was she right. She was.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's, I've heard Ed Milet, Tony Robbins. I've heard a lot of people say this, and it so resonates. Once you figure out that life happens for us and not to us, it's a game changer.
It is.
You have to go through the breakup. You have to learn what you really do want in a relationship and what you do not. And, I tell people tell me, just like you, I've had a few people, oh, Sammy, woe is me. My wife cheated on me, or my girl cheated on me, or my husband cheated on me. What should I do? And I say, the number one thing you need to do, call them and tell them thank you. Because now I know where you really stood in a relationship. Yeah. Thank you so much. Because now they just allowed you to move on. Yeah. They allowed you to proceed in your life and understand that what they seen in you, Now they need to look out for it and make sure they don't see that in somebody else. And they're like, whoa. And that blows people's mind. And I'm telling them, you need to call them and tell them, thank you.
Because it's just release. It's just releases. There's no, it's the past. The past already happened. There's no changing it, right? The past doesn't even exist anymore. Stop living in the past. Stop focusing on the past. Stop basing what you think the future is going to happen based off past actions, because the past doesn't exist. The only thing that exists, the future doesn't exist either. It's completely changeable, malleable. The only thing that exists is now. It's the present.
Yeah. I look at the past differently. I don't look at it as it doesn't exist. I look at it as, what lessons do I choose? Again, it always goes back to choice.
Yeah.
To bring forward with me.
Oh, I'm not saying to not take lessons from it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, there's people that live in the past and they think about it, and they literally in their heads will just think about this happened, and they're just like, they're literally in hell on earth. They're in a prison within their own mind because of something that happened in the past. And it's like, dude, that doesn't exist anymore. There's nothing you can do to change it. I'm not saying that don't acknowledge it happened. It happened, but do not assign negative or positive values to it. It happened. It happened. Where do we go from here? Because all that exists is the decisions you make right now are the only thing that exists. Existence is a present term.
And it's one of those, this is a message to people to go out. You know, people in your life that like to sit and dog shit.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. They're just going to sit there. And they like the smell of it, and they like the way it tastes, and they'll roll around in it. And then what they're doing is they're filling their head up with that itty bitty shitty committee. So they've ate the shit, they slept in the shit. Now they got it in their head, and they're like, well, this is just my life.
You just don't understand. You just don't. I do many times I've had a conversation with people who's like complain.
Well, Greg, it is what it is.
Yeah. It's just like,
it is what it is. Woe is me. My life sucks.
Yeah. But you just don't get it, because believe me, I've seen some terrible shit in my life. I've seen much worse situations than you. I've seen the people in those situations be grateful and happy. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's Yep.
So you have choice in how you think, how you feel, how you act, and what you say. That's it. That's the only thing you control.
That's it. And what do you know? Every one of them has to do with you.
Yeah. Yep. Sammy, this has been a great conversation. I'm glad
this has, man. And thank you so much. Again, brother, we know we could talk for hours.
We could, man. So if anyone wants to find out more about you, where's because Sammy has some really great content on his Instagram. What's the best place to follow you? So just to connect with you, learn more.
Yep. On my Instagram, it's _Sammy J. I've got a pretty good following there on the old TikTok.
Yeah.
And that's Mental Edge. And then I'll just go over to the website. You can actually go to the website and pre-order the book too, if you like. I do a blog. That's discovermentaledge.com. And those are the best ways, bud.
I love it. So last question I ask all my guests. You have the opportunity to sit with, learn from, break bread with 3 individuals, anyone in history, alive or deceased. Who are they and why?
Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a good one.
Just amazing.
That's a good one.
I mean,
I like that one a lot. I don't get that one very often. I think I've got that one time. The way he was able to get his messaging across the nation and start a movement pre-social media, pre-mass communications, pre-TV, like all that stuff. No ads went out. No newspapers went out about it. He was completely word of mouth.
Yeah. Him and I chose him, and I would always choose him. To me, he was one of the most passionate men in history, and I want to feel that energy.
Yeah.
I want his energy. I'm going to do it selfishly. So yeah, he would definitely be the top of the list. Hugh Hefner would be one.
Okay,
I mean,
I've never got that one. That's a unique one.
to really know his story and the adversity he had to overcome. I mean, it's just and to become an icon 70 years before you pass away and hold that status for 70 years. How many reinventions of himself did he have to commit to?
Yeah.
You know, with the change in times and everything. Again, to me, I look at just people differently, and to me,
That's a good one. I like that reasoning. I like it.
Yeah, amazing person. Third would be, man, there's a lot of people coming to my brain. You said alive or dead?
Alive or dead.
Let's see. Third, I would say Tony Robbins. I still expect someday I will sit with him.
Yeah. Hey, he can still be on the list.
Yeah. Right now, I'd put him on the list.
One of mine on the list is Andy Frisella, but I'm talking like an intimate, like just me and him.
Yeah.
Just sitting down dinner, chilling, talking, like just picking each other's brains, broing out. Like I want to do that one day.
Oh yeah. No, Tony, again, it's an energy thing for me. You know, I went to an event of his, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and he ended up he was there for like 4 hours, and he probably did 2.5 hours, literally standing next to me within arm's length. He had me stand up one time. I gave him a hug, and he's hooping and hollering. But the whole time I was sitting there, his energy it was just like engulfing. It was amazing. And that's something I want to bring that energy to people. So yeah, I'd say good old Tony Robbins.
I love that. I love all three of those. Thank you, Sammy, from the bottom of my heart, for coming on and just sharing your story and having a good conversation. This is one of my favorite podcasts I've done in a long time.
Well, I appreciate it, man. It's always, hey, this was fun. This was a little different. I've been on a few podcasts lately, and this one was different. It was like speaking with a friend, which I know you are.
It's just a nice, it's the conversational podcast. We drop some nuggets of knowledge. We try to teach something, and we just have a good conversation. You know what I'm saying?
And at the end, you go, boom.
Exactly. For those of you watching, if you watched till now, then I know you got value. So do me a favor. Share this content with other people that can also get value. I know that you know somebody in your life that has anxiety or depression that can learn from some of the stuff, they can apply to their life, and that can actually change their life. Okay. Now, we can't change everybody, but there's people out there that do want change, but they don't know where to go. Sharing content like this might actually impact them, and you could be the catalyst that could help them to change their life. It takes you 60 seconds to rate, review, subscribe, and share, but it means the world to Sammy and I for you to do that. So this has been the Be the Difference podcast. I'm your host, Greg.